want to cover some tips for going through paired passages. First, I want to hear how you guys approach these paired passage. Like very quickly, 20 seconds, we can each go around and talk about how you do these passages differently or the same as the normal single passages. So let's start with Janine.
I just kind of read both the passages.
And then like you read both, like you read the whole thing and then you answer the questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like basically the same approach that you take for single passages. Okay. How about you, Giselle?
I kind of did the same thing as Janine.
Mm-hmm.
Did like the same approach.
Cool. How about you, Miles?
I read the little thing at the top, and I
Mhm.
did passage 1, all the questions that related to passage 1, and then passage 2, and all the questions for passage 2.
Got it. So you like read passage 1 and then you do the questions for passage 1, and then you read passage 2 and do the questions for passage 2, and then you do the questions that are related to both. Okay, got it. How about you, Haley?
I do the same thing as Janine and Giselle.
Cool. So yes, actually, those are the two ways I was going to mention. I think they both work. Really depends on you. So Miles, the way you do it works. The way you do it, Janine, Giselle, and Haley also works. What I would say is that the same method applies here, just a little bit differently. So here, also the very important thing is reading the intro first. So here, the intro actually gives a lot of info. The intro says that sometimes the intros are not that helpful, but here it is. So here the intro says that passage 1 is about a plan for national education. And then you know that passage 2 is a response to passage 1. So usually when you have paired passages, they're either supporting each other, so like they both agree, or they disagree, or they're kind of neutral. So like they kind of just talk about different things that are related. So those are usually the 3 options. So you should always have in mind when you're reading the 2 passages, and maybe sometimes you can get a hint from the intro, which of the 3 it is. Do they support each other? Do they disagree with each other? Or are they like just kind of neutral? Like they just kind of talk about related things, but they don't really support each other, or they don't really disagree with each other. So support each other, disagree with each other, or neutral. Those are the 3. And make sure that after you finish reading the passages, you have an idea of which one it is. And in Miles, in your case, you don't need to understand that until after you finish reading both passages. And that's okay also. So does that make sense? Any questions about that? I think these 2 passages are straightforward. What I want you guys to do is, so the same approach applies here, right? How about everyone types in what is the approach, the 3-step approach? Everyone type in the 3-step approach and send it to me. Yeah, it's read the blurb, then skim, and then summarize, and then do the questions. So in this case, it's the same, right? The blurb is the same. There's just one blurb. Okay, but what does it mean to skim? Skim means if you are Janine, Giselle, or Haley, it means you skim both. You skim both, right? Miles, you just skim passage 1 first, you do the questions, and then you come back and skim passage 2, and then do the questions. Either is fine. What does summarize mean? Summarize is also very similar, but it's a little bit different because you have 2 passages now. So summarize means at the end of passage 1, you should do a quick summary. At the end of passage 2, you should do a quick summary. And then you need to summarize. You need to pick one of these 3 that Coach Jasmine put on the page that she took notes on. You need to pick if they support and agree with each other, if they're neutral, or they disagree. So it's a little bit more complicated than a regular passage, but if you can do all these things, then you're in a very good spot for answering the questions.